And for my tape editor, can I get you to say and spell your first and last name
Kevin Jackson, KevinJackson.
and your title?
I'm the president of the Beaumont Teachers Association.
So by now, I think most people, surely all parents, have heard what is happening to BISD, and we've heard from the school district and we've heard from the state, but we'd like to hear from teachers. So, uh, uh, just immediately, what is the initial reaction from the members of the Teachers Association?
I think the initial reaction from the Teachers Association was shock. Um, we knew that the commissioner had come down, and we knew that they were contemplating possibly taking over the district, but we also felt as though the district was doing good and we were doing really well, and there were some positive things going on. And considering the first time when the district was taken over, it was due to financial mismanagement, and also the fact that the schools that were actually at the center of this were no longer, well, King is now the early college center, and Fair Price was absorbed back into BISD. The feeling for most of the teachers were that we should have that opportunity. The district still should get that opportunity to uh, do what they need to do the work that they were already doing in order to continue moving forward and being successful.
I think you covered some of this, but do you think there were missteps on behalf of the TEA?
I can't necessarily tell you that there were missteps or mishaps on the behalf of TA because I don't know the entire process of what all they do. But what I can tell you is that it seemed really kind of unfair for the district because those schools, like I say, Fair Price, case in point, was a Third Future school. And at the end, once the community had voted for the Vader and the district got the Vader passed and things went that way, and when the Third Future pulled out, after the request for their money was denied, we really thought that, it just didn't seem fair for us as a district, the teachers as a district as a whole, to be what seems like punishment for us, for TA to come in, to take over like that. But they have their rubric, I guess, and at that point, I'm pretty sure that they did have a conversation. I'm assuming they had a conversation with the superintendent, but again, based on the interview yesterday and from what I saw, not from what I talked to anyone about, but from what I saw, no one seemed really happy, and everyone seemed quite shocked about the decision that was made by TEA.
Well, we know where we're starting from right now. I mean, obviously, we can't change the past. What has happened? What do you want to see happen now?
Well, I would love to see TA reconsider their decision. That's the first thing I would love to see. But if that's not going to be, if that's something that can't happen, I would love for them to perhaps maybe keep the board in place. If nothing else, keep the board in place. I know that there are things, removing the superintendent and removing the board. I would love to see everyone stay in place, including the superintendent, and maybe have someone there to guide them to kind of like checks and balances and things like that. Maybe that will help the district instead of just removing people altogether. The people that we have on the board are community people that the community voted on and trusted to sit in those seats, and to just take them out of their positions, to me, I think it's a bit rough, and it's a bit, because the teachers, well, the community voted on these people, and they are community people. So why would we replace community people with community people when the people that are on the board? Um, majority of those people, if not all, but I know for sure two were on the board for sure at the time of the first takeover. And I think that, so I believe that the people that are on the board should get that opportunity to to help make the district right and guide the district in the way that they would have to go. As far as the superintendent is concerned, I think that she should stay in place. But if you feel like there's a need for checks and balances, create a system for checks and balances. I don't think BISD was that far off the mark and that far out of line for it to come to the point to where a TEA takeover was necessary. I know that the commissioner said that he gave the two examples of the two schools that were failed, and I understood that part. But also, um, I just think that those schools were at the time were not, one, I can say one is no longer existing and the other one is getting back together. I think that they should have given the district an opportunity, since we absorbed those schools, at least give them another year to see what type of growth they have before this type of decision was even made.
It's kind of hard to put all this in TV speak, I suppose, because you have to be real short, and there is a lot on the plate here. So, and a lot of this won't make it to television, but it'll make it on our web story. So people that like to have the whole story, they'll see this. I know there's going to be some parents that'll read this. And what is what is the teacher's message to parents?
The teacher's message to parents is this. I think you're going to have to look at the entire situation, how we play it out, um, without one, not don't panic. Teachers, when the first time the TA was taking over, the teachers went into panic mode. There was a lot of things went on. We lost a lot of good teachers. I think that right now the community needs to understand that this was a decision made by TA based off of schools that were not in BISD at the time, the way they said it was, and that the leadership now is doing things differently. And I think that that's something that the parents need to understand. A lot of times, parents they tend to take things and they'll run with it instead of finding out the entire story or trying to find out the entire story. I think at this time, it's time to put everybody needs to sort of put their cards on the table and explain what's going on in the positions. I don't think I mean, before this something like this takes over, I think the questions that parents need to ask is, what are their plans? How do they plan to implement their plans? And what about their plans is different from the plans that BISD already have in place? And what type of success rate have they had with the plan? What type of success has TA had with the plan that they have for BISD? Because if you're coming in, then you've already made this type of decision, it should be some type of plan that they can lay out that will be acceptable, and maybe take a poll of the parents to see what they feel about it. Because a lot of parents do support BISD and they do love the schools. And of course, just like anything else, you would want something to change. Everybody wants a little change, but at the end of the day, at what cost is that change and what is going to happen with that change? Parents need to understand that their children are in this, and they're the ones that are being affected by this. And so we have to make sure that if something like this takes over, it's about accountability on both sides. Parents need to be accountable to their children as well as to their community. We voted again, and we gotta make people understand that we voted for people on that board, and that means that our vote. What does that say about voting? What does that say about us as voters, as taxpayers? So we should have some type of say in this whole situation. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be an anger issue on either side. If both sides are in fact um, doing their due diligence to try and make things better, then they should be able to sit down and have a real conversation with the superintendent, the board members, BTA, and some other community leaders to see what we can do to help make this situation better, and to see what type of options they have on the table at this time. Because right now, the way that it came out. Even though he says nothing is going to change right now at this moment, and it's going to happen somewhere around April, I think that if you made this decision here, some type of plan should already be made and should be laid out so that the community can absorb that plan and see if that plan is something that they're comfortable with. And if it's not something that they're comfortable with, then they need to be ready to sit down with the community and iron out something and hash out something that will work for everybody. Because at the end of the day, this is Beaumont ISD that sits in Beaumont, Texas. It doesn't sit anywhere else but Beaumont, Texas. And the people here are going to have to start talking and speaking their piece. I know, a lot of times you have disgruntled parents, you have isolated incidents and things like that. But overall, as a whole, I think the district has been doing very well. And I think, again, for it to happen the way that it happened, I think that more needs to be said in order for some clarity to come in and cover the community with some type of calming factor.
Well, that's all the questions that I could think of, but I'm not the expert. I don't work in education. You do. Is there anything that I failed to ask that you think is more very important for people to know?
I think that then the TA needs to come in with the if they're going to come in, they need to come in with a complete array of what's going to happen. What does this look like for teachers? Will teachers continue to get their raises? We just started getting our raises again. The district just started doing that again because of all the things that were going on with the monies being held by the state of Texas and everything. The city did pass the VADA to support the teachers. So if we're doing things as a community that we need to do in order to move forward and assist the district, then I think that the teachers as well as the community, we need to get behind our school district and find something and figure out ways that we can help as well. As an educator, I know that certain things I'm limited to do because I do work for the district, but I also know a lot of parents that don't work for the district that want things. We have to be open to change, and we have to be open to maybe doing things a little differently and looking at things a little differently. Nothing stays the same. I mean, a lot of we you really at education right now, you have a lot of students that are on Chromebooks and things like that. They're slowly but surely moving away from textbooks in some situations, and the state testing has changed as well. These are things, so if these type of things are changing, and when I remember when the STAR first came out, it was supposed to be the test of tests. Well, now that test of tests has changed. So if the test of tests of champions has changed, then surely why can't we start thinking a little bit differently and seeing what we can do to assist our school district? And more importantly, we need to keep our eyes open because this is our community in the place that we call home. The people that are making these decisions, as far as TA taking over, do not live in Beaumont. They do not know the community. They do not understand the people. So to just remove everyone, including the superintendent, and just move someone else in, a conservator and some boards, and create a new board, I think it's a bit much and it's a bit harsh. And I think that the city needs to realize that, as well as the teachers need to realize that it's not a time for shooting shots at anybody. Shots don't need to be fired from TA side or BISD or the city side. Shots, we need to be able to sit down and not fire shots at one another, but have a real conversation about what we can do. If we really look at this, BISD could really be the beta tester district for something different that could be successful right now. This is the opportunity. Pour the money in that you have for these different types of programs and give BISD an opportunity to um, work these programs and see how they do, and then take that and work that off into other districts similar to BISD as far as size and as far as dynamics, as far as race and color and different things like that. That's the things that I would tell the community to do and start paying attention to. We have a melting pot of different people here and cultures in this area. And so that if things are going to change, they need to change to fit the people that are sitting here in Beaumont.
Very good. Mr. Jackson, thank you for taking some time to let me uh, get some quotes from you. I'm going to give all this to our producers. It'll probably be in our 10 o'clock news,
Yes,
so
sir.
they can have time to edit everything together and such. And did I give you my cell number? I don't remember if I did or didn't.
did not give me a cell number.
I'll
You
send
can
it to you on Facebook, and then
send it to
because
me.
anytime you have something coming up with we events like the fraternity this weekend or with the Teachers Association, I want to make sure we know about it. A lot of times people think we're ignoring them. We just don't know the events going on. So feel free to text and call and all that, so we can get some good coverage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Would love to do that. Would love to do that. And I thank you for your time and your consideration of reaching out to Beaumont Teachers Association. The teachers in our association love the district, and we love serving our students. We just want an opportunity to serve without the stress and the
Hmm.
distraction that are happening. I'm a coach as well, and one of the things that I tell kids all the time is it's important for you to be an attraction, not a distraction. This has created a huge distraction at already a stressful time of the year, which is the holidays. And although some may not think that that's big, that is big because teachers are just getting back somewhat on their feet, and the community is kind of just starting to gel together. And the community was back in BISD, and for this to come up now is to me it's just a horrible time. And I think that we things, people need to be considerate of things like that. I understand that this is a business and this is about education, but I think that the students in BISD were being educated and they are given opportunity. We just have to figure out new ways of reaching out to our parents and creating a bigger buy-in. And that buy-in was happening, but it just wasn't, I guess, happening as fast enough for some as they wanted it to. But like anything else, hard work and persistence pays off. Changing something now would only set BISD back another few years. It won't push us forward. We've already started moving forward and we've already started doing the things that we need. What we need now is support so we can continue to push forward with the plan that we have instead of resorting back to something else, which is going to make our district and our community fall back a little bit more.
Yep. Well, we'll see what time tells on this. I'll be watching, and like I said, I'm glad we got a teacher's perspective because we've heard from the district and in the state, and but the teachers and the students need to have a voice too. So
Exactly. I would love to hear from some students, some current students right now, and how they feel about this because we have some young people out here that are very intelligent and talented in BISD, and no matter what you say, no matter what people say, there is pride in BISD. There is a lot of pride in BIC. And when this type of thing happens, if someone tells you something about, oh, your district has been taken over, that hurts you. That makes you feel that some kind of way. And I think that all of those things need to be looked at because there is an emotional, although I understand there's an academic and there's a financial attachment, there is an emotional attachment because a lot of people have been educated through Beaumont ISD. And so that's something that needs to be addressed and looked at because the more things like this happen with TA taking over, the more the morale falls down, the more the people tend to move away and move out and tend to go to other districts. Maybe they might find success there, maybe they won't. But at the end of the day, it kind of hurts the community to me.
let me hit